Hello and welcome to The Explainer. So, you're thinking about moving to the United States. That's awesome. But you're probably facing one of the first big hurdles, renting an apartment. And let's be real, it's not just about finding a cool place to live. It's a whole new language, a whole new set of rules. Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We're going to give you the key English phrases and the confidence to nail it. Ready? Let's jump right in.
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You see that sign, apartment for rent, and your heart just does this little flip. On one hand, you're thinking, yes, this could be it, my new home. But then this wave of anxiety washes over you. Oh man, what do I even say on the phone? What am I supposed to ask? Hey, don't worry, we're going to break it all down, step by step, so you walk in feeling prepared, not panicked.
So here's my promise to you. By the time we're done here, you're going to have the exact words, the right questions, basically all the tools you need to handle the whole shebang with confidence. But hey, before we start dialing numbers or scrolling through listings, we got to build a solid foundation. Let's kick things off by mastering 3 words. 3 absolutely critical words that you're going to hear again and again and again. Okay, first up is the word lease. Now, a lease isn't just some friendly handshake agreement. Nope. It's a serious, legally binding contract. Think of it like the official rule book for your new home. It spells out everything: how much rent you pay, when it's due, and exactly how long you're staying, which, by the way, is usually for 12 months. And here's the kicker. If you try to leave early, there's almost always a big penalty. So this is one document you absolutely have to read line by line before you put your name on it.
All right, next on our list, the security deposit. What is that? Well, it's a chunk of money you have to pay the landlord before you even get the keys. Now, they hold on to this money just in case, you accidentally knock a huge hole in the wall or something. But here's the most important thing to remember. This is not a fee. It's your money. You're supposed to get it all back when you move out, provided you leave the place looking good. So think of it as your money, just on hold for a little while.
And our third must-know word is utilities. This is just a fancy umbrella term for all those essential services, right? Electricity, water, gas, heat, even your internet. Now listen closely, because this might be the biggest money question of all. Why? Because sometimes these things are included in your rent, but a lot of the time they're not. And that difference can mean hundreds of extra dollars every single month. So you absolutely positively have to ask, are utilities included? All right, so now we've got our key vocabulary down: lease, security deposit, utilities. We're ready for the first real step in the hunt: decoding those online rental listings. This is where landlords become marketing geniuses, trying to make every place sound like a palace. So our job? It's to become detectives and learn how to read between the lines. Okay, I gotta admit, this is one of my favorite parts, because it really is like learning a secret code. So when you see an ad and it says an apartment is cozy, I want your brain to immediately translate that to tiny. Cozy means small. It's just a nicer word for it. See the words prime location? That sounds amazing, right? But it's usually code for super expensive. And my all-time favorite, up-and-coming neighborhood. What does that mean? It means there's probably a ton of construction noise and it's not quite there yet. It's a whole different language, I'm telling you. Okay, let's rapid fire a few more. A studio apartment? That just means it's one big room. Your kitchen, living room, bedroom, all in one space. A 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom? Well, that's pretty straightforward. They have separate rooms. Now, pet-friendly is music to your ears if you have a furry friend, but just be ready because that almost always comes with extra fees or a pet deposit. And if you see a place that needs TLC, that's short for tender loving care, which is code for this place is a bit of a fixer-upper. So after you've read everything that the ad does say, I want you to stop. take a breath and ask yourself the most important question of all. What are they not saying? Think about it. If the ad goes on and on about the shiny new kitchen but says nothing, not a single word about parking or a laundry room, what does that tell you? It probably means they don't exist. Sometimes what they leave out is the most honest thing in the whole ad.
Okay, you've found a listing that looks pretty good. You've used your new secret decoder skills. Now comes the part that makes a lot of people nervous, actually picking up the phone or sending that first email. So let's talk about exactly what to say to make a fantastic first impression. Here it is. This is your go-to opening line. It's simple, but it's perfect. Hello, my name is your name. I'm calling about the apartment I saw on wherever you saw it. I was just wondering if it's still available. That's it. It's polite, it gets straight to the point, and it instantly shows the landlord that you're organized and serious. It's a game changer.
So, once they say yes, it's available, your first mission is to confirm the big stuff. Even if you saw the price in the ad, I don't care. Your very next question should be, great, could you just confirm the monthly rent for me? Just ask, plain and simple. This way, you make sure everyone's on the same page right from the get-go. No surprises. And then, right after that, you hit them with our new favorite word. Okay, and are utilities included in that price? Now, if they say yes, don't just stop there. Your follow-up is, great, which ones specifically? And if they say no, your next question is, got it. Could you give me a rough estimate of what the average monthly utility cost is? You need the whole picture of what you'll be paying, not just the number on the app. Last but not least for this call, you got to figure out what it's going to cost you just to get your foot in the door. You can ask this as one question. How much is the security deposit, and is there also an application fee? Now, that application fee is super common here. It's usually a small, non-refundable amount they charge just to look at your paperwork. You need to know all these initial costs before you even think about applying. Okay, this next one is a huge tip, especially if you're new to the country. The landlord is absolutely going to ask for your credit score. And if you're new, you probably don't have one yet. Don't panic. Here's what you do. You get ahead of it. You say, just so you know, I'm new to the US, so I haven't had a chance to build a credit history yet. But what I can give you is a letter from my job confirming my salary, and I can also show you my bank statements. This is such a smart move. It shows you're responsible and have nothing to hide. Success. The call went great. You've set up a time to see the place, and now you're there. You're standing inside the apartment. And it's so easy to get excited and just think, wow, this is great. But hold on. Now is the time to put your detective hat back on. You need to look beyond the nice, clean surfaces and figure out what's really happening here. Okay, here's your mission should you choose to accept it. And please don't be shy about this. You have to physically test stuff. Seriously, turn on the heat, turn on the AC, go into the bathroom and turn on the shower, check the water pressure, see how long it takes to get hot, open up the cabinets under the sinks and look for any water stains or weird smells. And after you've done all that, you look the landlord in the eye and ask, so, if something breaks, how quickly do you usually handle repair requests? Trust me, their answer will tell you so much about who they are. And here's a quick but really important cultural tip. You're probably going to see a bunch of different apartments, and they can all start to blur together. So taking photos is a great idea, but it's always seen as more polite to ask first. Just a simple, friendly, do you mind if I take a few pictures just for my own reference goes a long way. It's just a small, respectful thing that shows you're considerate. All right, this is it. You loved the apartment. The landlord thinks you're great. They've offered you the place. Now we've reached the final boss, the lease agreement. I'm not kidding when I say this is the single most important piece of paper in this whole process.
When you sign this thing, you are legally bound to everything written on it. So let's make absolutely sure you know what you're looking for.
So a lease is broken down into different sections, and they're called clauses. Let's focus on 3 of the big ones. First, look for the early termination clause. This basically tells you what the penalty is if you have to break the lease and move out early. Next, find the notice period clause. This says how many days warning, usually 30 or 60, you have to give the landlord before you move out at the end of your lease. And finally, scan for a rent increase clause. This will tell you if and by how much your rent could go up if you choose to stay another year.
Listen, lease agreements are written in this crazy legal language. Honestly, even native English speakers have a hard time understanding it. So please do not feel bad or embarrassed if you're confused. This next phrase is your superpower. You just point to a section and say, "I'm sorry, could you explain this part to me in simpler terms?" A good landlord will have no problem doing that. But if they get annoyed or try to rush you, that is a massive red flag. Huge. And you did it. You read the lease, you asked your questions, you felt good about it, and you signed on the dotted line. The keys are in your hand. Congratulations, that's a huge deal. Okay, we're almost done. Let's just quickly cover the last few things you should do to make sure everything goes smoothly from here on out. Okay, first things first. Before a single box comes through that door, take out your phone. Walk through the empty apartment and take pictures or a video of everything. Every little scratch on the floor, any stain on the carpet, anything that's not perfect. Why? Because this is your proof to get your full security deposit back a year from now. Step 2, get those utilities set up in your name if you need to. Step 3, once you start moving in, just say a quick hi to your neighbors. It makes a world of difference. And finally, step 4, make sure you know exactly how you're supposed to report a problem. Is it a phone number, an email, a website? Find out now before you need it. And there you have it. From cracking the code on rental ads all the way to signing that lease, you now have a full toolkit of English phrases and strategies to confidently rent an apartment here in the USA. You are so ready for this. Now, I really want to hear from you. If you've ever rented an apartment in a country that wasn't your own, what was the weirdest or most confusing thing you encountered? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience could be the one thing that helps somebody else who's just starting out. Thanks so much for watching The Explainer.